Enjoy the show. Play on Perjangers.
Promoting slippery DMs.
I'm not touching that. As Cat drops out. Maybe you want to be a Dingleberry and help out the Dingle Dash Association. Then you can be a Dingleberry today.
Be a Dinkle Dasher.
Yeah.
So it is not safe.
We're still trying to afford the CGI to make old man look young. And it's not
I don't
working.
even know what we're talking about, to be honest with you.
Nobody does.
3, 2, 1, we're now live.
Looking for our green
Hey.
flags, multi-streaming, Twitch.
Called we call that surprise live.
Facebook,
We can be live now.
YouTube.
Hey, we're live now.
And of course, we are the only podcast that starts off clunkier than a 1930s Ford. We are the Triforce Podcast, of course. I am your host, Matthew
Watch
B.
the
Grill.
crank, it'll break your arm.
In the Perjanger box, we have Christopher Bristow, the old man, as well as Katerina Thermascara, our wonderful woman, as well as our omnipotent producer, Stephen Bucarell, Big Brother, hero of time, the Link Diablo, our mascot, chewing his bone of justice.
That's what sounds like a freight train.
We always gather here together for the same nerdy and geeky reasons, but tonight, Diabolical Baby, Quantum Reboot, 4K year-old game, and so much more on the Triforce Podcast. And, of course, we want you to hop on over to pjandewh.com. We're going to find all the funny and luggy and nutty moments up top. You scroll down, and I updated it. Last week's Triforce Podcast, the safe word is justice. As well as last week's.
I love that one.
Last week's Lug Nuts podcast. Well, the last Lug Nuts podcast, Robot Apocalypse, sponsored by Hyundai. And then you slap on over to the second tab. Well, that's where. Well, yeah, that one. Because Sunday through Friday, you'll find Big Brother and myself streaming over here on Wallhanger Gaming. Old man slack-a-lackin'. But you'll find me on the Old Republic. Nice MMO, walking through, Jedi Knight, Tour of Ra. And Big Brother is streaming Monday to Friday, 3 to 5-ish, migraines and work allowing, going through Skyrim. Where are you at now in Skyrim?
I don't remember.
It's a big game.
I have a headache, a migraine. So
But you're going to have to tune in to find out.
I literally have to look right before I do it. I don't. I've played so many hours. What did you do? I've done everything. I've done everything. I don't know where I am.
But then again, a lot of people.
A lot like life, and a lot like this next tab.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
Look who's getting smooth with the segues.
Smooth as his head.
I got a button for
That
that.
was a good segue.
Because we want you to contact the team if you want to slide on into the DMs and into the podcast. Maybe you have a podcast you'd like us to help promote, or even be a guest on our podcast and talk about
Promoting
it.
slippery DMs.
I'm not touching that one. Giggity. As Cat drops out. Get him out of here. Fuck him. And then you can also find us on all social
That couldn't
media
have happened
handles.
better at a better time.
This break is brought to you by the Hairy Donut.
Yeah, because we may have found our TikTok click.
Stop in for a meal coupon.
You'll get 10% off your next Dingle Dash. Maybe you want to be a Dingleberry and help out the Dingle Dash Association. Then
Is
you
it
can be
safe?
a Dingleberry today.
Be a Dinkle Dasher.
Yeah.
So it is not safe. No.
No,
That was just a word from our sponsor.
the safe word is
If we don't
justice.
have sponsors, I might as well make some up.
Absolutely. Our own fake
Fill out the
establishments.
village here.
NFTs coming soon. Frank, Kelly.
No. We're no NFTs.
So we want to hop on over to our first story, which, of course, is Diabolical, because the Boys animated series looks like a hyper-violent Nicktoon. So Amazon's
Did I click on the right thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Luminous.
Luminous Tater, my dude.
Sup?
Amazon's own blend of old school cartooning and bizarre modern comedy. The Boys presents Diabolical. The anthology series will premiere in full in March, and if the snippet of footage is any indication, it should tide over fans of the flagship series with its own set of gruesome laughs, which makes sense. Yet another production from Titmouse, which, of course, the adult animation leaders currently behind everything from Paramount Plus, like Star Trek Lower Decks, Netflix, Chicago Party Ant, and Midnight Gospel, to Hulu's Animaniacs reboot, Amazon's Critical Role series, and the upcoming Legend of Vox. There's a lot of stuff coming through from Titmouse, which is very, very impressive. Actually,
I still have to
Cousin
finish
Carl,
Midnight Gospel, man.
Cousin Carl, Midnight Gospel. He was working with Titmouse there. It's just they have amazing animation, and especially with the boys, it's just Diabolical promises 8, 12 to 14-minute episodes, each with its own animation style. The clip teases in the first look of the series. It feels kind of Chuck Jones throwback with a violent streak. So basically Ren and Stimpy. But Diabolical premieres March 4th, season 3.
The
of
90s
Boys.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Not the other one.
Yes.
We disavow that.
Yeah, no, not the one where they tried to make it cool.
Yeah.
The original one that was really gay.
The original.
That one was great. Season
That one was great.
Season 3 of The Boys kicks off June 3rd. So we got a little nice anthology series in The Boys. Is nice. I like how they're doing a different art style for each episode, because that's kind of like what they're doing with Into the Spider-Verse Part 1. Each different Spider-Verse, it's going to have a different animation style. So having that anthology, different animation style, it just kind of fits. I like that kind of styling for it, especially The Boys, because it's something unique, and that's the way to keep it that way.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah. What would you like to see? I mean, a baby shooting laser beams out of her eyes, that kind of sets a nice high bar for the kind of stuff that we want to see here.
I don't want to see this dog's nuts anymore.
I really do. You're the one with the mouse, man. You're the one with the mouse. I'm just the guy in the corner. I don't want to keep
Executive producer for a reason.
Yeah.
Content controller and creator.
Yeah.
There's just too many titles. It stays at producer because that's a nice Matt Man generalization blanket. Yeah. So the general
Hashtag smooth criminal.
yeah, and a smooth segue right on over to our, well, I mean, if any way you look at it, he's a criminal. But Moon Knight, in our next story, drops a very smooth
I'm so
trailer
waiting for this movie.
into madness, and of course, Oscar Isaac is our Moon Knight. The trailer has arrived, a brand and upcoming from Marvel Studios, the series of the same name, Moon Knight, along with the first new look poster, debuted during the NFL Super Wildcard matchup, giving viewers a glimpse of madness that will soon engulf star Oscar Isaac.
I'd also like to take a moment just to note the tragic passing
Yes.
of Gaspard Ulliel, who is also in this vehicle we're looking at.
Yeah.
Him.
Was he the guy who was in like the Moon Knight garb, or who was he in this movie? I know he was only like 37, but it was a skiing accident.
Yeah, from a ski accident. Yeah.
Look, anytime you go skiing, it's just spelling bad news.
That's why I don't go.
And that little snippet from the elevator scene that just passed, going up to that, the old woman, it turns out to be an old woman, but he sees the Egyptian god from Moon Knight. So they're tying everything in here. And just like in this scene, he picks up the phone and she's like, "Mark? Oh my God, you're alive?" He's like, "Why are you calling me Mark?" This show is going to be kind of, I feel like it's going to have like that Mr. Robot / like Fight Club vibes of like, this is a person with split
I see that.
personality disorder. He thinks he's saved from an Egyptian god from his death, and now he has this guy and Mark Spector, a mercenary, in his mind, as well as an Egyptian god. And it looks like he's a bit vicious. But that looks like a werewolf, which is a nice tie-in to the first appearance of Moon Knight, which was Werewolf by Night, which of course they're doing that for a Halloween special.
He was playing Midnight Man for Moon Knight. So
Midnight Man. Okay. But also, we hear a voice in the teaser trailer that they released saying that they were going to be releasing this on the NFL day. And at the end of it, it kind of sounded like maybe Mahershala Ali is Blade. And there was already a rumor that we're going to see Blade in this. So I'm really liking the look of Moon Knight 1 because it's just weird that this year we're getting Moon Knight and we're getting Batman. Because Moon Knight was Marvel's answer to Batman. And they just did, all right, we're going to do Batman, but we're going to involve an Egyptian god, and we're going to make him have a multiple personality disorder.
I think that this is going to be
Seems
a banner year in film. In entertainment. Yeah. I should say in entertainment, because it's not just film. We're talking TV series and...
Well, and then we just had Eternals hit the Disney Plus, and I enjoyed that movie.
So good.
I really enjoyed
it in the theater.
I didn't get that pleasure because I didn't want to pay for it, but I will accept it.
But it was a great movie.
As long as I didn't, I
really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. It was a nice story. I like how they set up the Eternals. I think that I like how I didn't really see who was the problem until they revealed it, and I thought it was really nicely done. Kind of an emo ending for him, but I like that. I can't wait to see where they're going. And
I mean, his name is Icarus.
Yeah,
there was only one way that was going to end.
I'm just interested to see if they pull in from the comics to where Eternals, for a reason, they literally just get respawned, and it's just like, oh, Icarus, welcome back. Like, you're just going to get another one.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I would not be surprised if they did that at all, especially since now we're getting into what looks like.
It was one of the times they brought it back, and Icarus
I said the Fab Four instead of the Fantastic Four.
And Icarus was spawned in, like, the South, or the Antarctic station, and that's just like, yep, you get rejuvenated here. And he lost his memories and all that, so that would tie right in with what they're going to do.
I hate that that Eternals wasn't as successful as I think that it should have been, but I do think that they did themselves the disservice by making it a feature film instead of a series. I think this, more than anything, especially since you're dealing with an ensemble cast and a kind of large ensemble cast, would have translated really well into a show.
Well, one thing I really love what they did is the IMAX version that hit the Disney Plus is really great. The aspect ratio really just draws everything into every shot, and it's really impressive.
I'm actually going to rewatch the Iron Man but IMAX version of it.
You know what? I'm tempted to go through. We should go through that again, man, and go through with the IMAX watch on all those movies.
I don't know if I could get through all the Iron Mans again.
But it's only a select number of them are IMAX edition.
Probably
not all.
Just don't watch Iron Man 3. Let's just.
You can really skip past that one.
Just that,
like Thor: Dark World,
nothing
was worth watching once. You know, like, Thor: Dark World, you could watch once and be fine.
We don't watch
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. Can we truly appreciate what they did in Shang-Chi if we don't watch Iron Man 3?
Yeah, we can.
We
can.
Yeah,
but you don't have to watch the Hulk.
You can just take
the
that
original
as
Hulk. You don't have to watch that one.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was the big thing for...
Are we talking Eric Bana?
No, the first movie where they had the Hulk jumping over. Yeah, the one before Ed Norton. Don't watch that one.
No,
Eric Bana.
We're just going to ignore that. Just move on to the second one with...
Now, She-Hulk, we are getting this moving towards a World War Hulk movie. So, finally getting another Hulk movie is nice out of this next phase. That's a nice promise. But a lot of rumors going around Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness right now, and that's mainly that you're going to be getting like not Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, the old original Fantastic Four. Cage? Yeah. Tobey Maguire, the X-Men, there's a whole lot. Ben Affleck as Daredevil was floated out there.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
There's just like a rumor of like all these people you loved. Hugh Jackman, fucking Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, like all these people being involved in Doctor Strange. All these people forming Defenders to stop Wanda is the premise. And I am so fucking down for that.
Cool. Well, you shouldn't have pissed her off.
She made up her own family and kidnapped a town.
All right, she gave them back. She gave them back.
After they forced her.
She was grieving. She's grieving.
Honestly, they didn't force her. They
She
couldn't
had
have forced her.
superhero-
Well, no, but
That
they
was
tried.
her all on her own.
They tried to force, but, you know, it's the
Yeah,
government.
it didn't work.
No.
That was a really good series.
It was up to Vision. Her own interpretation of Vision was so good that even he was like, damn, Wanda.
I don't really have anything to say about that.
That's all I had to say about
You said
that.
it all for me. I'm pleading the fifth.
So we'll have to see how Moon Knight, remember that, turns out March 30th, 2022. So we don't have that long to wait
This movie's
until
gonna be
Moon
awesome,
Knight
by the way.
series. But March 30th, a nice series. They're releasing it their own style. We have Ethan Hawke in this trailer. Looked really kind of culty. Like, what's his face from an Umbrella Academy? But, you know, serious. What was his name? I want to say Clive? Quentin?
I can't
Clive,
remember.
I think it's Clive.
Clive. He was like, he really went kind of Ted Bundy and created the cult.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for the third season of that show too. That little half moon there looks like that's gonna fuck you up, man. Fuck with the bull.
Yeah,
You're really
that's-
gonna get the
that's-
horns.
Instant death.
But I love
Klaus.
how Klaus.
It's
That's
Klaus.
what it was. Not
Klaus. All right.
Klaus. But a lot of great content coming out. Moon Knight, March 30th. I'll take that, man. I'm really digging the once per week release. I know a lot of people just want to binge, but I like give me 3 episodes or just give me 1 episode per week. Give me 3 and then 1 per week. I like that weekly binge because it brings it back to original TV for me.
Yes. But people who do want to binge still can. They just need to wait until the last episode comes out, like I did for Hawkeye.
Yep.
And because these are much abridged seasons where we're only getting 6 to 8 episodes each, it's not like you're waiting the 22 weeks like a regular American season. You're just waiting a month or two and
Did we get your take on
dodge whatever spoilers you can.
Did we get your take on Kingpin from Hawkeye?
No, you did not.
Well, we need that now.
We do need it.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I'm being
creepy.
set up for something.
That was creepy. I was like, what are you
Um,
setting up a TikTok or something?
I don't know. I have to say that even though I kind of knew that he was going to be in it, there's this one scene in one of the earlier episodes where you just see a hand come into frame,
Mhm.
and put the hand on the girl, the girl with the prosthetic,
Echo.
the deaf girl, Echo. Thank you.
Yeah.
When he puts his hand on her shoulder, and I'm like, that's Kingpin. Like I knew right away.
Mhm.
I know that hands. I know that sleeve. I know that sleeve.
Yeah.
I can't say that Vince Vaughn does anything wrong.
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. Do you see this? This is COVID brain. I'm just letting you know
I was
that
like, Vince
because you
Vaughn
guys
is
know that I
Kingpin?
know their
I
names.
was like,
I'm
oh,
just having
that's his name.
I'm
Oh,
having.
okay.
I'm
I'll take
telling
it.
you, my memory is awful.
He went from playing what?
They were both in that one fucking what was it? The breakup. It was like with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, and then Vincent D'Onofrio was the brother. I was forced to watch that movie. I remember that shit.
What are we
I'm
playing?
so sorry.
7
Everybody
degrees?
knows that I know. I'm just like my brain to mouth. It's a mess right now. But anyway,
She's
I
thinking
was
about The
happy
Breakup. It's a great
with
movie.
the consistency of him as a character.
Yeah.
Like I got the same Kingpin that I got in Daredevil
Mhm.
in these last 2 episodes. That fight scene at the end, I did not enjoy as much as I wanted to. I wanted more of him just in the universe in general, but I'm always happy to see Kingpin. I'm always happy to see this version of Kingpin. But the whole time I was like, "Where's Vanessa?"
Mhm. There's one fan
Where's
theory
Kingpin
that
without
says
Vanessa?
that Echo's shot at the end was actually up by his ear, so that way she can make him deaf. And I really like that as a fan theory.
I don't think he's dead. I never thought
Yeah,
that
no.
at all.
You're not going to bring him back for like 2 episodes and be like, what up, bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, I wish he had been in more of it, but I did enjoy the scenes that he was in, especially the scenes with Kate's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the
'Cause you're
office.
like, she's
Those were
such
some
a
pretty
nice
powerful scenes.
She's such a nice mother. Then what are you doing? You were with him.
Yeah, they kind of buried the lead on that. And like the whole time I was like, the mom's the villain. Like the mom's definitely the villain.
She's with Swordmaster. And she thinks he's charming. Like, yeah, there's something wrong with your mom, bro.
It just like, but yeah, I'm saying it again.
We've all
Again,
had one of
my
those
brain.
friends.
It's a mess. I enjoyed
Dude, there's something wrong with
Kingpin
What?
very much. I just was not a huge
Okay.
fan of the fight scene at the end.
Yeah. I mean, all in all,
Was it,
I
was
thought...
it the super strength? Like, to me,
The super strength didn't bother me so much, although I don't understand why
comics
we
and
needed to
everything,
have
he
it.
had that.
well,
he
each
went up against
iteration
Spider-Man.
of Kingpin had a different level set of power. Like,
Right.
in the MCU with Spider-Man, he had power that rivaled Spider-Man. And Daredevil, he's just more tactful and he knows how to
Exactly.
fight.
This is not that
So,
universe.
it's
this
not-
is that
Even though
guy.
it's the same delivery and the same person per se, it's not
It's a different
the same
variant.
iteration. Yeah, it's a different variant.
That's all they have to do. And fans are so confused, but they literally had a whole show based on variants, and they're still like, I don't see how you're going to connect it.
There's
I
a
just,
reason
like-
why
Because
they
you're
did
not a
that
writer.
first.
I think that they had so many like great fight scenes in the show already that they didn't have to do this.
I think it was oversaturated.
I do. I think that they could have gone a different route, and because to me, Kingpin is more cerebral.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the chess player in the background. there.
So I kind of feel like this was gratuitous in a way that it didn't need to be.
But I love how they didn't call him Mr. Fisk. They just said
No.
boss. You know, the boss won't
Yep.
like this. Kingpin.
Yeah.
Kingpin and Wilson Fisk never connected. And keeping that going on is just so classy, and it adds
I love that.
to the
I love that
flavor.
energy. I love that. I love that. But yeah, I really
You
enjoyed the
think-
scenes that he was in. I really, really enjoyed
I-
that office scene.
Mhm.
That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you this? Do you think they gave Vincent D'Onofrio this fight scene to kind of to allow the character go off the way he wanted?
No, because he was so much more badass in that first scene that he went off in the first season of Daredevil, where he smashed the guy's head in with the car door. That
Right. For
was
interrupting
fucking
dinner.
grippingly brutal. To where
Yeah.
this was just like, damn, this dude's fucking unstoppable. He keeps getting
And it
hit
like, but
and hit
didn't it
and
feel
hit
like
and
it kind
hit.
of took you out of it? Like everything
Yeah.
else, and I know that we're talking about superheroes and magic
Yes.
and
There was something
OP
off about
powers
it.
and things that don't happen, that don't make sense.
Yeah.
But you're suspending reality here because it's just part of it. This fight scene at the end is the only
Yeah.
thing that took me out of the story, where I was just like, this is a little bit silly.
Now
like
that you're putting it
this
like
did not need
that,
to happen this
yes.
way.
Yeah, now that you're putting it
And
like
in
that,
a-
yeah, absolutely.
In a logical world, like, she would have lost, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the
absolutely.
teenager? Really? With the bow and string?
No.
Really?
But like the thing is, I was buying it the whole way. I was buying it
Yeah.
until that part, and
Yeah.
that
Like with
part
the
is where they
guy
lost it
wearing
because
the armor
it just
of a
you didn't
tank.
need it.
That
You didn't need it.
That Pym particle arrow. Like, where do I get more of them? Though, that was a badass. Like, haha, arrow's really big, fucker. Oh!
But I hope with the inclusion of Matt Murdock and Kingpin as established characters in this universe, even if they don't end up getting their own thing, I would love to see
The No Way
them
Home
pop
grip,
up.
grip
Oh,
So,
of
you know,
so
like
great.
just
grab.
keep on leaving breadcrumbs throughout the whole thing. Maybe we'll never get another Daredevil movie or another show
Yeah,
that
we don't-
Well, here's
factors
the
around
thing.
Daredevil or
We don't need
Kingpin,
The
or
rumor,
have them as main focus. But I would love to see them still in there doing their thing as time progresses.
rumor
You
around
have two really good
Hollywood
actors doing two really good characters.
is that we're
Use
gonna
them.
see
Use them.
one. We're gonna see Cox everywhere in the MCU,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and that was last week. Cox is
Get a
gonna be
rag.
everywhere.
Cocks are going everywhere.
But the other thing is he's supposed to be popping up.
You
in
went
She-Hulk.
right into that one there, COVID brain.
You did. Term in sales, it's called walking the dog. Right
It's
this way.
painting a picture. And Cox, you're painting the picture all over the walls and the ceiling very slowly.
And unfortunately, it's a red. It's a red picture because he's
Big Burger, I think we got our TikTok.
I think you're better than that.
that's
I could
classic.
do way better than that.
Yeah, but that was great. Cox is going to be everywhere, but also
Splattering everywhere.
it's gonna, and it's unfortunately it's gonna be red, because he's Daredevil, he's blind, he just sees red.
Yeah.
My point. Oh, we're going to be seeing
On to
him
the next story.
in a lot of different things, but it started off with rumors, a lot like this next story,
Right.
That was a good segue.
because
Thank you,
Leslie
John.
Grace, it was rumored that she was going to be Batgirl, and there was a rumor that there's going to be a Batgirl movie, and now we know there is a Batgirl movie. Leslie Grace is that Batgirl, and now Leslie Grace gives us our first look at Batgirl for the HBO Max film. And this is Exhibit A, okay? New 52 era, Batgirl in year
Love that
one outfit. Made this myself, Mom. Look at me, I'm styling. Okay? Just wait for year 5, wheelchair edition.
You made
But-
it yourself. Now you're gonna fight tigers.
I've never said this
Tigers?
before.
Okay.
Like with this film, like if they make this a franchise,
Maybe she'll uppercut them.
I can't
fight
wait
4
until they
tigers,
make her a
okay.
paraplegic. Because that would be great story content. Come on now. There's a joke set up there. Killing joke. It's a good one. See that?
I knew you were
Nerdy
going
tie.
that route.
Slip that in like a needle and thread. But scroll down and we'll see our look, Exhibit B, at Leslie Grace's Batgirl costume.
I love it. I love it.
Twitter
I've always
nerd,
loved that costume.
Twitter nerd rants are like, cosplay? Like, bitch, it's year 1. That's exactly where you want to start with Batgirl, and that's
Yep.
exactly the look you want with that. Because it looks like, I made it myself, Mom. I'm going to be a fucking superhero just like Batman, and that's the Batgirl show. That's exactly where
And
it should
this is
start.
my biggest issue with these sneak peeks, with these first looks, with these teaser trailers. It's just opening it up for everyone to have an uninformed opinion.
Mhm.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like everybody lost their damn mind when they saw Starfire
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
in Titans
And
in
then-
that clip, in that like short little hot pink dress, and they're like, "That's not Starfire." Watch the effing episode first, please. For the
And then
love
in the
of-
last season,
Yes.
when they finally give her full fucking Starfire costume, man, it was so awesome.
it was worth the payoff.
It
It was
was.
worth the build up into it. So let's chill the
Fans-
f out.
Fans are ultimately
She
goldfish.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
It is appropriate to somebody making their very first costume. And if we go old school and see what they look like in the 40s when they 1st introduced the character,
oh yeah,
Probably
yeah,
pretty
you don't want that costume either. So just
no, we'll go with the new 52.
simmer the fuck down, please.
Yeah.
Simmer it down now.
Which-
Simmer down now.
Exactly.
It was a
Exactly.
reboot from 2014, but that is the beauty of doing a comic reboot, because at that point, doing a Batgirl year 1, which Batgirl came out of the 60s Batman show. She wasn't in the Batman comics up until they added her in there. And now, just like Harley Quinn, those characters get added into Batman after the fact just because something works. So this works. TV is how Batman gets fleshed out.
That,
Hold on.
But I
Like
really
the
like this outfit as
organic
like
spark that
this
happens with these
motocross kind of.
characters.
Yeah. I love that
now
whole
everyone
look.
shut up at once. Now everybody talk at once. I don't care who talks. I just want one of you at one time. I don't even care what you say either.
But I'm right
We're
there.
both passionate. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I'm right there.
but-
no.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kat. I like this costume because this is where I want Batgirl to start. I want to see her go for like a grapple, like a like wind up grapple and fall on on a dumpster. You know what I mean? Bruise a rib.
And let's be real. If any of us decided that we were going to be doing a vigilante and making our own outfits, we would definitely be like taken from biker.
It's hoodie
look.
time.
Like, you know, like
I'll tell you right now, I would look like a hobo Moon Knight. I'd have a dirty white hoodie with like masks.
You would wear your
like
Assassin's
rags
Creed
on.
hoodie.
Yeah, a dirty white hoodie, like I said, with masks, like dirty rags on, and then I'd have like a jacket because it's fucking cold out, and I would look like a
I
hobo.
always love that combination of purple and yellow. I think she looks fantastic.
It does, and they're great. They're nice colors, you know. The
Yeah.
yellow really
Nice
stands out.
shades of those colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
we are
very,
also
very happy with
not
that.
only do we get an awesome Batgirl costume here, we are getting Michael Keaton as Batman in this universe. To where, why would no? They don't have any pictures of him. It's just mentioned in the story. I love the fact of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman more in the.
I love that
universe.
Michael Keaton wanted to do it.
Yeah,
The fact that he's attached himself to the project makes me feel better about the project in general.
yeah,
Because DC's a little.
yeah. Wavy gravy. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm looking at this in a complete positive light, and I hope that it follows through to do it. I mean, I love everything about her costume.
It's really
I love
great.
that pose. I love her hair. It's just amazing.
But I mean, also at the
Amazing.
same fact, I made the paraplegic joke, but I also want to see Oracle. I want to see the Bat family, extended family, not just Batgirl.
If this does well,
not
we'll
just
get there.
Robin. I want all the Robins. I want Red Hood. I want a movie live action Red Hood. I want like a really nice fleshed out universe. And if Michael Keaton's willing to be Batman because he's a comedian, he has always been that guy to just make that I'm Batman joke, and now he's willing to be Batman again. Put him in as much shit as you can because unfortunately, it's way too soon in the cycle for Robert Pattinson to be starring in anything else besides his movie. He's got that movie right now. You got to focus on building that universe with that Batman. 2 hours and 55 minutes runtime, PG-13. And now you also have Moon Knight, which is right in that same vein because it's Disney.
I also, with Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, and I'm not sure if they're doing this or not, but I really enjoyed the look of those Batman films, like Tim Burton's hands in that, and how the world itself looked. And if this is the same Batman in the same continuity, that whole aesthetic coming back is another positive.
We're going to see this year with Flash because that's where this is going to kick off. You know, if DC is kind of treating all their films as multiverses and just starting to have one connect to another. And now having it connect to TV or, well, HBO Max Film, getting all their films. Now they're looking at selling CW. So I don't know what that's going to do for the Arrowverse. They're obviously just still going to have a stake, just not as big a stake in it. But with DC, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that they could tie into. If they could tie into their main films they want to put out, like Snyderverse level, as well as having like, you know, HBO Max movies or TV series, having all that tie in, just put out your main movies. Like, here's Shazam. It's not tied in. We're not going to say it's tied in. And, you know, here's this one. Here's that one. There's a way that you could do that and make it work as long as you start to connect things, because Crisis could add in anybody and everybody if you do it on a major film level. Endgame proved that. But with Michael Keaton, fans always want him as the Batman Beyond. I would also take one of the other Batman. I don't think we can get Val Kilmer, but we could probably get George Clooney.
He's going to be interested.
We could definitely get George Clooney.
I think he's going to. He might say no.
Give George Clooney a chance to redeem himself.
That'd be nice.
But still give his suit nipples. just to say fuck you.
I would think that I don't think George Clooney would be on board doing Batman anymore. Because
I don't think he wants to be Batman.
He's
I
too-
think he just wants to move on.
He's too
from
busy helping people in
Batman.
Africa getting held up by an AK-47 just because he has a truck. Okay,
Okay.
but J.K.
and
Simmons.
he sold his wine and tequila business, so he's up
he's
there
chilling.
now.
So J.K. Simmons also coming back as Commissioner Gordon. So, I mean, Commissioner Gordon's down. Commissioner Gordon's down with the Brown.
What batting percentage does J.K. Simmons have to nail all these roles?
He's the fucking man. That's what he needs to do. But this is my point. Barbara Gordon,
You can just
Batgirl.
play the same person and everything, and that's fine.
Look, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. Batgirl is a colored person. So that means Commissioner Gordon is down with the Brown. They are all about expanding the universe. It's a multicultural podcast, folks. I'm just pointing out the obvious, that this is going to be, once again, not just the black and white comic. We're adapting off of this, which is the beautiful part.
We can afford more colors now.
Yeah.
We're a big country.
Like the Hulk
We
was
were just a
originally
teeny
gray.
tiny little country then. Now
Yeah. We couldn't figure out the color palette for the ink. Now we
it
got
was
that
too
shit nailed.
expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's
man.
too
Fuck
expensive.
that.
We
No.
needed to invest it in some and wait for inflation.
No, we're still trying to afford the CGI
Or
to make
whatever.
old man look younger. And it's
I
not
don't
working.
even know what we're talking about, to be honest with you.
Nobody does.
The next story.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah, there you go.
There's been better segues, but there's been far worse. We wandered off the tracks, off a beaten path, but we are now on Amazon's Lord of the Rings series because it has a name. Set
Yeah, it has a name.
set during the Second Age, thousands of years before the events of Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, will tell the story of how the titular rings of power were first forged and divvied up amongst the Middle-earth's races. The new series, along with the forging-focused teaser video,
Will one of them have the power of heart?
no. Alluded to how the rings creation were both tied to reemergence of a long dormant evil in the world and to subsequent hardships that the world's men, elves, and dwarves would end up facing in the future. The thing that I found
it
about
requires
this
heart.
interesting is that in the trailer, they're saying, like, how many people got what rings and all that. Like, humans got 9. Like, Sauron got 1. Like, elves, I think, got, like, 15. Like, dude, how many fucking powerful rings are you making, bro?
There was.
Did you give one to
3
your
for the
aunt?
elves and 9 for men?
Everybody,
5 for dwarf.
Like, everybody getting fucking
Right.
rings? Like, the dwarves?
we're giving
All right.
out superpowers here.
What is this,
Anybody want
seats in the
some?
Senate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Proposals. That's
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
were.
yeah.
So you paying
All right, so
attention?
it's the Senate.
Yep.
And then eventually it just turns into one ring, so that's the dictatorship.
Yeah, and then the Sith
I have
take
heard
over,
nothing positive of
and the Sith turn into this big eye.
this-
and then
this
stuff
little-
happens.
announcement that they did today, but I thought, well, let me roll that back. I thought this show was going to be about something else.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought
Yeah,
we were
'cause they
getting
kept on
like
they kept on like
Cimarrillion
carrot
stuff.
dangling it a different way, and then it was just like, oh yeah, it's going to be before the times, and like and then
I sincerely
what they
thought it
settled
was
on.
going to be the Cimarrillion, that we were going to be getting the history of the elves and that first age and all that.
I would have loved that story.
Yeah, but now we're
So,
not getting that.
I am a little bit disappointed that we are not getting that. However,
diverse
I
enough?
don't know that isn't still what we're getting, because
Okay.
ultimately that story is leading to the creation of the rings and then into the Hobbit and then Lord of the Rings from there. So it still might be the show that we thought it was, but
Yeah.
this announcement, this title announcement, really gives nothing away. Like
No.
right away, you already knew what the end was going to look like. Maybe not what the name it was spelling was, but clearly it was the forging of the rings.
Yeah.
So once I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is not going where I thought it was going to be going. So
But I like how it's starting off with all the rings. Like, yeah, they got some. They got some. Uncle Joey, he has one. I think
Well,
it
this is
rolled under the
just them
couch.
rewording what was already said at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring by Galadriel. So,
The showrunner literally says for the name, they wanted the name to look like it could be sitting next to the original books on a bookshelf.
and it does. And it does.
It does.
It 100% does.
But you open it up,
I
and
also
it may look like
don't
cardboard.
know that. I also don't know that
I didn't know Bethesda was doing it.
that this isn't purposely done to misdirect us.
Maybe.
So,
Wouldn't be the first time that a studio did
You
that.
think you were going to have
although
a
I
little bit
think
of a
it
swerve?
is, yeah, I think that it's pretty.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's
Nice.
But
like a teaser
I
trailer or a
was
cinematic
like, I'm
trailer,
disappointed
you know?
because I was expecting something else. I was hoping
Yeah.
for something else.
Well, I mean,
Like, I don't know that we need this story.
Amazon.
It's one
needs-
story to rule them all.
Well, Amazon needs that kind of book fantasy show, right? Because Netflix has their thing. Everybody is getting their shows like that, you know, on the streaming platforms. So they need their thing. And hey, we got Lord of the Rings. We can milk that. But you already have HBO over there. They've been milking dragons. Like, son, we got like 15 shows waiting we haven't announced. Marvel's got a whole hanger of like 43 projects they're working on that don't want to say
I know they
about.
want like a good.
Amazon sending people into space.
I think I was more excited about this before Wheel of Time came out.
Mhm.
And now that I've seen Wheel of Time, I'm not as excited about this coming out because I've seen what they do
I
with
got, like,
source
one-
material.
Maybe one episode in, and I was just like, you're not hooking me here, man. I couldn't.
Did you read the books?
No.
I read The Hobbit.
No, I meant the Wheel of
Wheel
Time
of Time.
series.
No, I haven't. But I was like, fuck it. You're based off a book. I'll give you a shot. That's what we did with Game of Thrones. Is we watched the show and then
Yeah,
Listen to the
never read the
books.
books first. It's
No.
always a disappointment.
So to me, well, I didn't know they were
The
going
show-
to be making
it'll
books. They're
ruin the
like
show.
40 years old.
well,
That wasn't a conscious
shoulda-
choice I made.
you should have slept on it like we did.
then maybe you should just never
What
read
was
and
2
let
more
society
years?
Figure it out
Stop
for you.
reading books.
4 years, 40 years. Hey, man,
Like,
it is what it is.
To me, it feels like, you know, when you have to do a history report and they give you the source material and it's like a paragraph in a book and they're like, okay, say the same as this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell me what's in this paragraph, but you can't do it word for word.
But don't
So you just
say.
jumble the words around.
Yeah,
but
they
you're
want you to
literally saying the
paraphrase it.
same paragraph. That's what this trailer announcement thing felt like to me.
Essentially,
Like they
this is
took
a
the
Cliff
opening of
Notes.
Fellowship of the Ring and rephrased it and slapped it on that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Well,
your Cliff Notes.
You'll be able to watch
But it looks pretty.
September 2nd. It drops with new episodes dropping every Friday. Another thing that may be dropping, is this next story, which is the Quantum Leap reboot getting a pilot order from NBC.
Cool.
The reboot of the classic 90s series Quantum Leap is
I guess that
taking
means it's going to be on that.
They just need to redo the last episode of the original series and we're all set.
a big
yeah, that's
step
pretty much it.
forward.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
With the NBC having ordered a pilot episode. Remember watching the series
The original
and
was great.
starring Scott Bakula and Dean Scottwell when I was a kid, and it was
Big
amazing.
Scott Bakula. Ow.
So the thing that I
Yeah,
found,
yeah.
the new series is set in the present time, and it's been 30 years since Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished. Now, a new team has been assembled to restart the project in the hopes of understanding the mysteries behind the machine and the man who created it. Damn, I need more voice acting work.
Okay.
But I like the sound of that show. There's no word if Scott Bakula is actually going to be involved in this at all. He said, actually, ironically, on the late, great Bob Saget's podcast, he said that he had heard that a reboot was in the works and that he supported them. I think we even talked about it in the podcast in the past.
Yep.
But now, getting an order. A pilot is not a guarantee. But once again, I will say, I will watch this fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hands down. I will watch this fucking show.
I will watch at least one episode.
Yeah. I'll give you 2. I give everybody 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't hook me by 2, but then you fucked up. And you ruined Quantum Leap for me forever, and you're a horrible person, and you deserve to burn in hell. But that's your choice
Quantum Leap
ultimately.
ruined Quantum Leap for you already.
Yeah. So I like
That last
I like
episode.
the opportunity of this. Of like, give me another Highlander show. Why have people been sleeping on certain sci-fi properties like this? Sliders, Highlander,
'Cause
Quantum
somebody
Leap.
owns it.
Sliders, I would love to see. Sliders,
They were
100.
the
an
originators of
amazing
pop
show.
culture multiverse.
It was ahead of its time too.
It was.
With
That's
what's
a
his
show that I
face?
think would do really well with technology as we have it now.
And
In
the one
today's
dude
age, yeah.
from Indiana
Yeah,
Jones.
absolutely.
The one dude from Indiana Jones who was the professor in Sliders. I forget his name, but I think he passed.
Oh
With
yeah,
John
yeah,
Rice
yeah.
Davis.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Rice Davis is still alive.
He's still alive.
Is he? I thought he passed.
He was in Sliders.
No.
And he was in
And he was in
Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He's still with us. He's just old as hell.
Okay. I thought I saw
He was
something.
also in Lord of the Rings.
That was probably just a clickbait article then. Thank God he's okay. I can sleep easy. But and then who
Wait,
was the
now
main
we gotta look it
character
up.
with the 90s great hair? He was
That's
like one of those people like back in the day. They all had that like great-
Sliders? Jerry O'Connell.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
Jerry
Jerry
O'Connell. They all had that great
But he-
hair.
He's still alive too.
Yeah.
I
He's on Lower Decks.
really didn't doubt that he's still alive. I've seen him and stuff. I don't think everybody's dead. Just the old people that clickbait articles tell me are. It's an A+ win, really, is what I think it ultimately wins out.
That's
all
what
these
you're calling
90s
that.
show.
Okay.
Well, all the 90s shows that should get a reboot. I think it's an A+ win. It's something that you should guarantee. It's guaranteed that should happen. Sliders,
Wow.
Quantum Leap. They're just top-notch choices.
Like your catering event next door.
A lot like.
Our next story.
Hold on.
Hang
I
on, we have to
close
stall.
I have to close a few text
Yeah,
boxes.
we have to stall a bit. But a lot like this next story, because A+ catering and events. We have my friend Ayla LaBoy and her partner cooking up delicious delicatessens. And a lot like Luminous Tater said last week, I'm going to have a, quote, party just to have all these delicious treats that are up on the screen. Because I tell you what, man, I've tried their food, and it is just as amazing as it looks. And you can get them for your next event and have everybody in the party saying, wow, where did they find these people? Well, they were listening to Perjangers and Wallhangers.com, and they found Facebook.com/APLUS Tri-State and booked A+ Catering for their next event. They were the hit of all their friends' parties.
Code word justice.
Yes! Yes! That is exactly what we do.
Oh, boy.
Code word justice.
They'll have no idea what's coming.
Okay.
Neither will I.
Look, we're going to send people your way, and we're going to tell them that the code word, or no, promo phrase
Say
is
hi.
justice. Yes.
Hey.
One of the 47 children in the old man's army. And they would love to hire A+ Catering for their next main
Say hi.
family reunion event.
Hi.
Hello. And, oh my God, look at that. All those, what is that, fruit and shit in those
Right.
smoothies? Great.
How about we move
Another thing that looks great is this next story. Because Netflix, they have Cuphead show. Yeah. And it looks very 1920s animated style, just like off of the game. It's obviously a satirical look. Netflix announced that the Cuphead show, the animated series based on Studio MDHR's hit game Cuphead, will debut on its service on February 18th. Streamer released the first full trailer for the series and a batch of images showcasing a commitment to the game's distinctive early 20th century animation stylings. Released as 12 episodes running 12 minutes apiece, the Cuphead show is described as a character-driven comedy series following the
I'm
receptacle
sold.
receptacle headed Cuphead and his brother Mugman on the carnival-themed adventure through Inkwell Isles. The journey will be bring them face to face with the devil himself.
I think I love Cuphead. It is brutally hard.
Ooh, those frogs, man. That's like
They are a pain in the ass.
Like art styling wise, snowflakes are going to have a problem with it. But I think, first off, Cuphead was a brutally, like, if you're a fan of Dark Souls, you'd probably
This puts
love
Dark
that game.
Souls to shame. I'm sorry.
It does. It's so just brutal. But the art stylings in the game just make it so appealing to play. So you're getting fucked by the game, but you enjoy it the entire time.
And the article then says, tonally, the show seems to split the difference between a modern, smart, Alec animated comedy and the simpler pleasures of an early cartoons that inspired its look. Like the game, it mimics the rubbery animation, slapstick violence, surreal characters, and mildly seedy air of the Jazz Age cartoons of Max Fischer.
Yeah, but a lot of those Jazz Age cartoons, early Looney Tunes cartoons, you can't show them without a disclaimer in the beginning.
Which is what they say in the next article, because it says, I mean, the next paragraph, it says, doubtless, this striking stylish choice is what will have drawn Netflix to the project, though some have noted that Cuphead is, however innocently celebrating an animation tradition with troubling racist undertones. The game, an old-school boss rush and shoot 'em up, drew more notoriety for its stern difficulty, however.
Look,
What's
I mean,
the next paragraph say?
we can read.
Could you
every
read me the
word.
next paragraph?
Make sure you.
What's
I
the
could.
next paragraph say?
Make sure you credit the author too. And
Oh, credit the author.
Let's let 'em
read
know.
all the sponsors.
Let's
you.
let's let the
Let's
fans.
do that.
Let's let the fans know whose hands up your ass, moving the mouth.
I have no.
It's not Jim Henson. I know that guy's dead,
Okay.
right? Or
I was just
kill off
giving you a
somebody
break.
else? Did I just give somebody
He
else?
loves the sound of his own voice.
I think I just
He
killed
doesn't want a
somebody
break.
else off. No, Jim Henson's dead, right?
Yeah. No, he
Okay.
died
Yes.
a while ago.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, that was like right
Couple
before the
years
Ninja Turtles movie, the first one.
Well, next thing you're gonna tell me, Bob Denver's dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now I need to
And
be
it's John.
now I need to be
It was
disappointed
like
by this next
a
story.
beat, and then he's like, he is.
He stumbles onto comedic timing eventually. But this next story was also a bit of a surprise to me. I don't know, maybe not a lot of other people, but Microsoft is to acquire Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, which of course is the bottom bargain price, because obviously Activision Blizzard has had some of the most, like, first off, California came after him because of their business practices in the workplace environment. There was a lot of sexual misconduct in that company. I have not talked about it because it's a toxic fucking place. And let's be honest, besides Diablo, I have not touched any Diablo and Overwatch. I have not touched any of those games in the longest time because Activision Blizzard, not everything they put out is trash, but
Blizzard responded.
They've
by
always
promptly
had
firing
that.
everyone.
They've always had that
Pyro
kind
and
of
Crash.
toxic and kind of feel to me. And I mean, I saw these stories come out, and it breaks your heart because these are game developers. These are people who are making good times in your memories.
And that's what I think is like the reason why Phil Spencer, who was instrumental of acquiring the studio.
Top-notch guy.
Yes. So he, with all this knowing going on, decided to acquire them, and he's gonna, like, heads are gonna roll.
Well, I like how the news came out that Activision Blizzard games will be coming to Game Pass first, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we bought it. We bought them." And then the Activision Blizzard CEO, what is it, Todd
Todd
Yeah,
Glass.
yeah.
Wow. He's
Kaepernick,
really-
or not Kaepernick? He's fucking
Colin
stepping
Kaepernick?
down after Microsoft officially acquires the company. So that head of the company, who, let's be honest, if it's a toxic work environment, it comes down to the boss and how you're running the company.
And ultimately,
allow.
the boss hires the people. The boss doesn't want to take accountability.
And guess
And
what?
that's what happens in these workplaces that
Now we have
that don't.
an American company being one of the top 3 game developers. Tencent, Sony, them. They're right there. They're the most prominent in the industry now. Now this is going to make them. Now we have Activision, Blizzard, and Candy Crush. Candy Crush probably going to set them up like a good Nintendo fund bubble. They can have a lot of fun projects now.
Candy Crush and World of Warcraft is going to be the cash cow for those two now.
Yes, but also it's a nice move for them because Diablo, always a fun time to hop into Diablo. A lot of people really enjoy Call of Duty. I used to.
Yeah.
I just kind of fell out of it. But Microsoft, trying to stay relevant, I see this as a brilliant move in their part because now you're gaining more capital in here to keep you being able to be creative in this market
There's 3.
Let's be honest. Xbox always has had a kind of handicap because it's Xbox PC with Microsoft. Xbox PC, PlayStation, Tencent, they find their own little platform. This is where you have to go for my content. Microsoft, you don't have to buy their console. You can have a PC and run that and still buy that and have all the Steam.
And here's the 3 major points with this acquisition. Of course, we've already talked about the toxic environment that Phil Spencer has gone on record says like, yeah, we know what we're doing with them. We know how we're going to handle with them. And that was like 3 articles ago.
They've had 40 sexual harassment claims or 40 people walk out because of the work environment. Like recently, how many have you had, Microsoft? Well, none. Oh, okay. I guess they know what the fuck they're doing.
Gonna clear up.
So they're gonna curb that one.
Face.
And now
wouldn't
look
wanna
at
be their
look
HR
at the
department.
severe
You guys are in
180
for a
from.
shitstorm.
Remember when Xbox won that reveal and how it got trashed by E3?
What's the high score of new assholes made in the Activision Blizzard HR department? I mean, I'm saying
How'd you love to go through those files?
we're at least in like 6-figure digits of new assholes made because all the people
legal's
that
gonna
had-
have a fun time.
all the people that just had to say, not my fucking problem, are gonna have like, excuse me, what'd you do? Like they're gonna have a fucking problem. Like Microsoft is gonna be cleaning fucking house.
Right, and they'll have to go deal with that, and I'm sure there will be
Hey,
you
man,
know,
lot of
whatever it
people
will
need,
be.
a lot of people need jobs right now. We could put some
So
butts
look
in
at
seats.
The second point, 2013, the reveal of the Xbox One was a colossal failure. Okay, because they tried to make it more about entertainment and not actual video game. You look at 5 years later, they pivoted and started the process of the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then they finally released that. Now you have all these studios going on Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, through Game Pass, you don't even need a PC to play. You could play cloud-based gaming on your phone.
Yeah.
Like just connect a controller through Bluetooth and you can play.
Well, here's the thing, man. You look at Microsoft and it was Kinect. Oh, Microsoft's fucking up. But you look at, we'll say Nintendo. Oh my God, what the fuck they do with the Wii? Nintendo's fucking up. You look at PlayStation. They got their network hacked with PlayStation 2. Oh, PlayStation's fucking up. Nerds will
I remember
only-
when PS3 went down in 2011.
they will only focus on the negative that you have recently done to them and not the main benefit that they have done for you in the long run. Like No Man's Sky. Like, well, we can just keep Anthem at a L. We'll
We'll just take that one as
call spade a spade. But we miss you, BioWare. Where are you? But there's
The final
a lot of
point.
promise. Yes.
The final point. The stock for Sony went down 12 points because of this announcement. So Sony now has a decision to make where they say,
Game time,
we
Sony.
went on and had the story where they were like making their own Game Pass version, but now they have the option to say, do
gonna
we
be
want
called
everybody to
Corona
win
There's-
and just put Game Pass on
There's
here?
also
or do-
another fuck you there for Xbox that I saw briefly on the internet. I didn't get a chance to look at it because I saw it late today, but I think Microsoft has the opportunity to gain the rights for two of Sony's mascots, Spyro
Crash and Spyro.
Like, that is a ultimate fuck you. Like, hey, these guys that you know and love, guess what? They're mine now. These are my pogs. We play for keeps in this fucking house, asshole. These are my pogs now. Like, damn.
And we're gonna make games with them. We're playing with your characters.
You can't have any of my Surge. But yeah, no.
So yeah, Sony has a decision to make, and it would seem like in this day and age, no one really wins and loses, because if you're a gamer, you're a gamer. You're going to play on any console you can get your hands on. You're going to play on a PC if you get your hands on it. Doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
with that being said, why don't Sony just lower down the walls, let Game Pass in, and they take a small cut with it? Why
Mr.
not?
Gorbachev, I say tear down this wall, or I will unleash
Reagan smash.
or I will unleash my ray gun. You don't want me to use my ultimate. It takes too long to cool down. But ultimately, I guess my point is that humans have always been gamers, and negative. Mainly, that was my main point. But gamers, nonetheless, like our final story.
Oh,
Because my point to human beings always being gamers is only cemented in proof with this story. Archaeologists have unearthed a 4,000-year-old board game. Now, they just have to figure out the rules. And yes, it can play Skyrim.
it's just like Sabak.
Yahtzee.
It's actually like backgammon. Or no, Baccarat backgammon? The one
Probably
from Lost.
like
Costello.
It's probably just like backgammon. See how
Backgammon,
the pieces
yes.
go all across? Looks just
Yeah.
like a backgammon.
Archaeologists in Oman have found 4,000-year-old stone board game at Bronze and Iron Age settlement near the village of Ayan Bani Sidi in the northern Hijaz Mountains, Qimar Valley. It's Iraq. Such findings are rare, but examples are known from an area stretching from India through Mesopotamia, even the eastern Mediterranean. A University of Warsaw archaeologist who co-led the excavation said in the statement, the most famous example of a game board based on a similar principle is the one from the graves of ancient royal cemetery in Iraq. Ancient game he is referring to was discovered in 1922, is about 4,500 years old, and is a two-player game similar to backgammon. And it is now in a collection at the British Museum in London. But because, of course, the British must have it, and you must pay us if you want to look at it. But there has always been that
Preserving
person.
history and all.
There's always been that person in your life who, instead of wanting to work, has always just wanted to game. There have always been nerds. Even 4,500 years ago, there were nerds playing games. So there were Perjangers perjanging in the ancient world. So that's kind of the
They just had to put it out on an abacus.
This is your feel-good story of the week, you know? Every person throughout history, there has been that person. They have had a friend. They were like, oh, what'd you do today? Man, I've been fucking people up in backgammon, son. There's been the old guys in the fucking park playing chess. There have always been gamers. People always want to think gamers are just video game. Nah, son, gamers are everyone. Everyone's a gamer in their heart and a little bit. And even 4,500 years ago, there was still a nerdy son of a bitch out there trying to be the best at that game. It's your feel-good story of the week. I like to leave you on a high note when I can. But the high note is going to be the end segment, which was, of course, picked by Katerina Thermoscara.
Okay.
What game do you wish you could play for the first time again?
Will we do a top 5 on this?
Not stricken to just video game. It's a tough one, ain't it?
Board game would be Stratego. That's a good one. That's a strategy game. But it's
I
always
kind of
different every
figured
time
by
you
the
play.
name. If it was Stratego and it was about Foxy
Stratego,
boxing,
yeah.
I'd say that's wrongly advertised.
But it's kind of it's made by the same. It's made by Hasbro, who also did Axis and Allies. So that's always fun to play. Yeah, but it's World War II.
So-
getting into.
The end segment, Big Brother, is what game do you wish you could play again for the first time? Not just stricken to video games, just game in general.
You know what I wish? I wish to play all the games I did, all the games that were pivotal in 2008 when I did, because 2008 was Bioshock, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Bioshock is probably my video game, because Would You Kindly rocked my fucking world.
That was a mind.
Assassin's Creed as well. Those two games were just like, it's like that was the first moment when you finished a video game, you thought of your nerdiest friend you could call so you could just fucking melt down.
Yeah, no, you called me.
Exactly. Like I said, the nerdiest friend I could think of. I was just like, boom, yes. But yeah, no, Bioshock.
And then the
Bioshock
final one
Infinite.
that year.
Bioshock Infinite was another one of those to where I was like, holy fuck. Like the ending of the game was so just driven. And it was just so it was just
It brought it
so
full circle.
amazing. It was an art
But
piece is
the
what it
final
was.
the final one of 2008, Mass Effect.
I could pass on that.
But it started
I love
the series.
that game. Don't get
It
me
was a
wrong.
great
I
series.
love that game. But if I'm talking about, I want to relive that feeling I get, first Assassin's Creed and Bioshock. I want to relive that again. If I'm bringing it back to like a childhood vibe on a video game, I would say the first time I played Super Mario Brothers 3. That was a great game.
He'll play it.
Or Legend of Zelda on Link's
Link to
Awakening.
the Past.
Link's Awakening or Links of the Past. Either of those. Amazing games. Now, if I'm thinking about a board game, honestly, Clue. I have had some amazing, fun, funny fucking moments playing Clue.
Okay.
You did it, you dirty fucker! You're Mr. Custard! I fucking know it! I hate Monopoly. Clue, I will play. Because
Battleship was a good one, too.
I can just automatically assume everybody in front of me is lying. And I could just, we're at a level playing field. Let's see who's the better liar, motherfucker. You did it. I know you did it, old man. You know, I like that kind of suspect. It's a nice little murder mystery, you know? There's fun in that.
Your
if you have the
first
right
D&D
people.
campaign. How about that?
Never had one.
Never had one, so there you go. Look forward.
Oh, ooh! I sense a podcast.
You can sense whatever you want. Katarina, where are you siding with your end segment?
Well, the problem is everyone was supposed to pick one. But because of you two rambling, y'all have said my picks already.
Yeah. We did that. We do
Yeah, we
that.
do that.
So anyway, I was thinking of my very first time playing Dungeons and Dragons at my neighbor's house, where it was me and the two of them, and he was playing the DM. One of his brothers. One of them was playing the DM and also playing a character, and that's just some of the best times of my life. Were just eating peanuts, playing with their cats, and playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I've just never known anybody to play it, and I've never known anybody patient enough to want to teach me, because I would be asking you the same question for millions of times.
What?
So wait,
I think
what does it
that
mean when I do this
Mad Libs
again?
is really hard.
that I'll be honest, like I was already an avid reader at that point, but it was mostly books that were they weren't sci-fi, they weren't fantasy, they were like age appropriate books, like Ramona and Beverly Cleary kind of stuff, like the stuff that you're reading that they kind of give to you when you're in second grade, third grade, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
My love for fantasy, for dragons and monsters and magic and like rogues and villains and stuff, that came from this world. And it's from there that just kind of hopped off, and I started reading, Lord of the Rings and the Bulgarian and the Sword of Truth and like Wheel of Time and all that came from that game. I don't think, had we not moved to that neighborhood and had them as neighbors, that I would have become a comic book reader or read sci-fi and fantasy, because because they were into that, and that's what we did. And I just like, oh my God, I like that too. And what's funny is neither of them play anything like that anymore, and they don't really read comic books or anything, and yet I'm the one that kind of held on to that part.
Yeah. That's nice,
and they
though.
kind of grew
Because it was
past
endearing
it.
for you.
Yeah.
For me, it was like life-changing, and being the daughter of immigrants, or a child of immigrants, they weren't really into that kind of stuff, so I don't know that I would have ever been introduced to any of these things had it not been for my neighbors at the time.
Yeah.
So Dungeons and Dragons definitely for sure was the very first thing that I thought of when I said not video games. But if we were going to talk video games, we did have an Atari and we did have it in television. So I had already played, like Frogger and baseball and Stampede and
Boom.
a lot, all of those games. I don't want to say all of those, like a fair bit of games that were there. But it wasn't until my cousin got the very first Nintendo game system, and it was Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers on there.
That was so good.
And I played it for the first time, and I was like, this is the future.
That is what everyone
like, this
thought
is so
when they
wild. Like,
first got Mario. You have to think Mario's 88 when Mario Brothers came out. I remember the girl next door got one. That was the most mind-blowing thing. I'm like, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
You're right.
I liked playing the Atari. I liked playing the television. I liked the
first one
television
was
that
free.
had the cards to make it easier for you to know what you were supposed to do for the games. But it wasn't until that Nintendo console dropped and you went in there and you started playing Mario Brothers that you were like, holy shit. Like
N64, Mario 64, N64, that was my fucking jam. Love that thing.
I love
Yeah,
Yoshi's World. Do you remember Yoshi's World? I love that
Yeah.
game. Anyway.
It's now available on the Switch through their online service.
It's
It's
available.
also
everywhere.
available on their museum.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of different awesome nostalgic ways that you could take this end segment, which, a favorite game. There's been so many that, fuck Monopoly.
The opening scene of the first moment you hear the Halo soundtrack. Halo.
Yeah.
Just the
beautiful.
Donkey
soundtrack.
Kong and Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
that was a great game.
that's a good pull.
The very first Sonic.
Yeah.
Contra.
The finishing moves from Mortal Kombat, which had been the bloodiest game that I
At
had.
that time, 1993, when it
point,
released on consoles, and that's what
Yeah.
created the ESRB rating.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You know what?
That was September 9th.
Shut your fucking
One
mouth,
game
Tipper. Shut. Keep
I
Chris,
absolutely
you are a
know.
vault.
I know that probably Chris and Big Brother will absolutely agree with me on Fable.
Yeah.
The first
Fable was good.
First
The
one was
first
good, yeah.
Fable, the first time
The
playing
first one was
that.
iconic.
The first.
Chicken Chaser.
The first.
He's chicken chase, is he?
Do you chase chickens? What kind of name is Chicken Chaser?
The
Dude.
first.
I beat the game, not even knowing why the fuck they called me Chicken Chaser. What the fuck are they
And
calling
that
me
was your
Chicken
fabled name.
Chaser? Yeah, and then
yeah.
a second playthrough, I figured out you could fucking change it. The fuck did I know? I don't know.
Illuminate from within.
Yeah.
You had to turn on
fucking-
the lamp.
Do you remember playing the summer and the winter Olympic games on your computer?
Oh yeah,
On your,
Absolutely.
Yes.
on your floppy
They
disk,
had the
Yeah.
the
aka
Winter
Commodore
the
Olympics.
save
64.
icon.
Yeah, man.
It was
love
made by
bobsled.
Epics.
Yeah. Oh my god. Fuck, man. So many amazing. The winter and summer Olympics. Dude, bobsledding.
The gymnastics was
Yes.
the hardest. Bobsled was
The
fun.
diving.
We didn't
diving
have the
was
summer one.
Platform
Okay.
diving.
We had
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
We had the winter one.
We had winter, and bobsledding was awesome. Fucking.
The
what
winter
was
one had that.
They had
The one that it was like a
shooting.
mix of
The-
things
the
where you
one
had
with-
to shoot.
Yeah, that was like the fucking.
The
Yeah.
decathlon.
Yeah.
It was like the cross country skiing, and then you'd have to
Yeah,
shoot.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-
that's what
I
it was
never
called.
did that.
Cross country skiing.
I'm like,
It had
That
a
was
worse
great.
aim than Alpha Protocol, man.
It was-
and that was
It
based
did.
off of
It was
luck.
bigger skating.
horrible.
Oh
The
my
ski jump was
God.
fun because
Ski
there was
jump
this
was
little guy.
fun.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ski
And the
jump was fun.
bobsled, the other one, what's the little one?
And then there was World
Oh,
Games,
the luge.
which had
The luge.
barrel jumping and
The
cable.
luge where you just saw his feet, their feet
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and they're going down.
Simplest graphics
Oh, it's
you
great.
ever
They
had
fell
to
off.
design ever.
We were
Well,
so.
but you would
we
spend
were so excited
hours.
though.
Oh my
we
God.
were
Shooting.
so
That's
excited
what it
for
was.
that.
Dude,
And it was
in the
great for
basement,
groups.
Shooting, yeah.
in the basement,
Oh
on the
yeah,
old
it's great
computer,
for groups.
I have
freezing
the
in the
every
memory lanes
winter.
for Commodore
Playing.
64. to
Didn't
play those
matter.
again.
You were sitting right by that computer, like, no man, I got next go.
Yeah, it
Right?
was tons of fun.
Oh my gosh.
And it was all on the joystick with one button. You had to do it like this.
No, we used the keyboard.
We used the
Keyboard.
keyboard, bro.
Keyboard,
Old timer.
Uh huh.
Shh.
keyboard.
But what is your favorite game? Video, board game, D&D? What is your favorite game, Loyal Wallhanger? Pop it in the comment below. Let us know. And maybe you found one that we missed and that we would enjoy for the first time. You never know. We end off this podcast the same way with the thank yous. Thank you to our man, Luminous Taylor, Mark Gervais, Sean Ennis, William Unstetter, Frank Percy, and Marty Valdez for liking, commenting, sharing, and supporting the podcast. As always, this is none other than a long, drawn-out goodbye. I'm your host, Matthew Bugrell, the Mat Man. In the Perjanger box, we have our Christopher Bristow, the old man, as well as Katarina Thermoscara, our wonderful woman. Stephen Bugrell, big brother, as our producer. One Link Diablo, hero at time, as our mascot. I love how he comes over, too. Like, please say my name. And of course, we love you. We miss you. We want to see you next week. Until then, game on, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Oh no, we're gonna end it.
Shutting it
Oh God.
off.
Oh God. Oh, all right. Bye-bye.
Play on Batangers. That was a good segue. Our Island Kelly.
Bye-bye. That was good.
Yes.
I'm glad Kat caught her nap in there while we were gaming out.
Yeah, nothing more.
You look like you were trailing
boring
off
than
there
it
for a
was.
little bit.
Normally, she has this kind of straight, like, blank look when we're talking games. This week was just like, my head is up, and it looks like I'm still present. But I could tell that's where, like, all right, energy level dropped down low. If there was a stat bar, it was like, Katarina, I was like, oh, God, no.
She rolled
The
one
energy.
for initiative on that one.
The energy bar dropped down low. Oh, no. Like, how do I send
You want to
B12?
use a charisma point? That's all right. I'll wait till they're done. Just wait till they're finished. Whatever it is, they're.
And cue the final TikTok.
I can't even. Do you see my face? It's like I'm hearing everything, but it's none of it's processing right now.
It's okay.
Nothing.
Listen to the podcast. When you get to the end credits, you'll be like, oh, I know what to say now. We'll get you when you're healthy.
Say something. What was I supposed to say?
You were gonna go and sleep or something. Sleep is what you look like. You
She
need.
was going to tell them to go to
Oh.
pjandwh.com and contact the team.
And yeah, right.
Let us know
Yeah.
their funny quip. Enter funny
We also
quip
want you to get better.
here.
I'm sorry.
Hit that button right there.
No, be better. just get better. We want you healthy.
You know,
Or at least develop superpowers out of it.
this is I was hoping to get superpowers from the vaccines.
No.
Well, now you
But
got the
if this is-
vaccines and the vid. So now that's when the superpower, that's the Terrigen mixture. Okay. Now you need Terrigen Mist and you're there. You're practically an Inhuman. Although it's kind of like a crap dice shoot
But you
as
never
to
know
what
what you're
power
gonna
you
get.
get. Yeah. It's like a
If I
box
were
of
to get a power,
chocolates.
I'd be like, do you ever watch Sky High?
Your power could be like the coconut chocolate
Like the kid
in the
that
box of
glows in the dark.
chocolates.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm
God.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
You could be like
Yeah.
Meg from Family Guy.
And then I
and
can
it's just
get
your
Bruce
fingernails
Campbell staring at me
elongate.
going, sidekick.
Oh,
That's the next
Just want you
episode.
to-
I
healthy.
am thank you. I know that this affects people differently. It really knocked me on my ass.
Well, we want you to get better, and thank you for
Thank you.
stopping by and hanging out there with us. I know that it's definitely hard, especially when you're feeling shitty. I didn't even know. Like, I thought I was feeling fine last podcast when I looked at myself and I was editing it, and I was like, where's my energy? I was like, it's me.
I
Me!
caught a glimpse of my face.
I had
Like
nothing.
I try not to look at myself when we're recording because then I get like too caught up on something that I can't change.
Oh, it's okay. I love
But I
looking
did
at myself.
happen to look up and see myself. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
girl,
No. I could tell
You need
just
to get
from
some
take a
sleep.
nap.
the
Yeah.
energy level last week, I could tell like, oh, I thought I was out of the woods, but I was lying to myself. I had no energy, and like I was like, oh God, man. Now,
I
I'm
did
interested
warn you.
to edit this one, but no.
Well, I felt good. I think yesterday I woke up and I was feeling really, really good. And I'm on the second floor and the kitchen's on the first floor. And so I went downstairs just to refill my water bottle. And then as I was coming up, I kind of quickly went up the steps, like not run, but like,
At a faster cadence, yeah.
and then I get to the top and I had to like immediately sit down at the top step because my throat just completely, like my lungs just completely closed up. And I was like,
Ooh.
what the fuck? And then for the rest of the day, like I could barely do anything. And I was like, I literally just walked up the stairs faster. That was it. But I felt so good when I woke up. I was like, let me take a test today. It'll probably be negative. I can go back to work. I'm feeling good. I'm still a little congested, but I feel. And then that one thing fucked me up for the rest of the day.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, that it is. Well, keep praying for you.
Thank you. And you guys too. I hope everyone is good and you all stay safe and healthy.
Yeah, no. So, have you been watching Book of Boba?
Yes.
What do you think?
I haven't seen today's episode yet. That's after the
Neither
Neither
podcast.
have I.
But for 1 and 2, I loved personally.
I've been watching them on well, when I can. I'll just leave it at that because it hasn't been a consistent day. But I am caught up before today. I've really been enjoying it. I like them fleshing out and us getting a look at from the villain's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the Rancors and the green guys whose name are eluding me right now.
The Hutts, man. I was really impressed with the Hutts.
Yeah. But I really like that we're getting a much more fleshed out view of these two-dimensional characters, two-dimensional villains that
it's
that
not
we've
just
seen.
bang, 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 pow, pow.
Yeah, and like the Tusken Raiders and
Yeah. Oh, the Tusken Raiders are my favorite part.
Yeah.
Well,
My
the
favorite part.
beginning of the Tusken.
My favorite
Raider
part
was my
is
favorite.
the Rancor fake out.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
Rancor fake out was
That
my
was-
favorite
that was
fucking
good.
part ever. He's like, no, I'll tell you. Oh, fuck.
But with this series, you learn so much about the Tuskens and how, like, everything about them. It is so great.
Yeah, and even the Hutts and how the brother sister sit a little bit too close. But they are very nice. They gave Boba a present of a Rancor, because who doesn't want a Rancor? And
Trained by Machete.
I want a
no less.
Rancor.
yeah, Machete. What's his name? Goddamn, always
Teddy
forget.
Machete?
No.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. I don't know why. It's just brain farts all the time, but he is awesome. I also kind of wanted to see.
He posted that on Instagram. He was just like, I made it to space.
I want to see Danny Trejo as a multiversal variant, at least, of Kraven the Hunter.
We got to get him on there.
I think that would be a perfect thing because obviously I think they already have their Kraven. Guy's name is eluding me.
If not Craven, make him Caribe. We'll just pair him up with Frank.
They went with Gilbert Godfrey.
I don't think many people are asking for Caribe quite yet, but Gilbert Godfrey is available.
Yes.
The
be great.
guy.
Let me tell you something. Here we go.
Ugh, you do
Are y'all
horrible,
okay?
Gilbert.
Yeah, he really fucked himself.
The guy that played Kick-Ass is
Yes.
Craven, isn't it?
Aaron
And the
Taylor.
dead
Oh
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron whatever.
Taylor Joy, I want to say, but that's probably wrong. I don't care. But yeah, no, they got him. It's something, but it is Aaron Taylor. Yeah. I just think there's a lot of premise in that. There's a lot of stuff that's out right now that is great. Peacemaker, I fucking love.
I haven't even got time to do it.
When you see him get the hug from the eagle, it's just so amazing.
Yeah.
That eagle is my favorite part of that show.
I'll tell you, I didn't see that coming.
And then the dad is just perfect. He's a DC villain.
He's something.
From back in the day, I believe. But man, that show is so smart. James Gunn, not Kevin Gunn, behind it. It's
Who's
just
gonna run MMR?
it's fine. It's James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have to do a reinforcement every now and then. I mean, we grew up with,
Well, James Gunn
93.
James Gunn is the multiversal variant of Kevin Gunn. He just slipped over to this world.
The 15,000 watt flamethrower.
It's actually an ice thrower in his world.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how the multiverse works. You
We're
know?
just tying Philadelphia radio with the world.
All right. So we're at podcast 284.
284. So I just got a question for you, Matt, because you've done this.
42.
Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts.
I have never done any Boy Scouts. That is perverse, sir.
Okay.
We don't like that implication.
No.
So how do you do Cub Scout meeting virtually?
I guess through Zoom.
Well,
Yes.
Pinewood Derby's really going to be a bitch, but okay.
Well, in my day, you'd have to everybody go to a church and
Well, no, the Cub Scout meetings were at like a house, and then you had like the big
Right.
den meetings
Oh,
where
yeah, that
all
one.
the kids got together, and that's when you got like all that. But it was just like going to a bunch of like people's houses and I really can't see that working in this day. and age.
just go to a stranger's house with a bunch with your buddy.
Yeah, and I
Pop on some doorknobs, lick some doors.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I remember during one Cub Scout
See,
meeting,
yeah.
one of the kids hit the emergency
call this
button
a
for
talk
the
show.
security system in the house.
Oh God.
And then,
Yeah.
like, my dad had to like talk to the person through the box in the wall,
A couple
which was,
times.
like, behind the
couple
fucking
times.
entertainment center. And like he's upstairs, there's a whole bunch of fucking like little fucking Cub Scouts doing. I don't know what the fuck Cub Scout shit was. And then my dad like, look at my workbench. It was just like dads just hanging out and kids just like. And then there was the one house where the kid had the N64 and everybody was, oh my God, look at this.
I want to know how the girls ended up with the cookies and the boys ended up with popcorn.
Look, man, that is how my dad, when I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm going to try car sales. He was like, you know what? You'll probably do fine. And he told me that I was in Cub Scouts and then we were standing outside of the Brookhaven Deli and we were selling that shitty popcorn. So a little old lady, literally of 80 years old.
National Popcorn Day, by the way.
Really?
Happy Popcorn Day.
Great.
And this is a perfect story for it. So I'm standing outside of this the Brookhaven Deli, and I'm peddling popcorn for the Boy Scouts. And this like 80-year-old woman's walking up, going into the deli, and I go, "Hello, ma'am. Would you like to buy some popcorn?" She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, son, but I can't eat popcorn." And I go, without skipping a beat, "But I bet you have some grandkids that'll love popcorn." She bought 3 barrels off of me.
Look at his face.
That's why I'm in sales. I was born into the darkness.
He was molded by it.
Molded by it. Shaped by it.
Kat, did you see our TikTok?
What?
No.
There's a new store.
Oh, wait. The one where you mentioned me?
The Red River.
No, I don't think we mentioned.
No, that
Where
was
did I
No,
get
no,
that?
no.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Oh
The
my
safe
God,
word.
the safe word is justice. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're
that
not.
was
That is still getting traction
right,
on there.
Right.
Is it? What's it at now?
I'll pull it up right now.
Because I made it the promo for the last week's podcast too, because
1464.
Because we were talking about the chocolate brownie.
Nice.
We were talking about in the beginning. It was the chocolate brownie, the Harry donut, and then the Red River, which was the place where you could buy your alcohol. And we have a nice little, business establishment.
Yeah, they
township
sell
forming.
liquids, alcohol. Yeah,
You said
I
they
don't remember what I
they
said.
sell red. Everything's red wine,
Yeah, everything's
red beer.
red. Yeah,
It's their own craft brew, red beer.
yeah,
all at
yeah,
the Red
yeah.
River.
Oh, that's it. Right. Yeah.
So what are the
You just
numbers?
gotta go
on
with
TikTok?
what's there at the time. I guess I don't.
1464 on that.
Okay.
On
Well,
Nice.
particular clip.
great.
Well, it's all linked to the website, pjandwh.com.
I'd send it to Kat. I would love to see her reaction.
Yeah, we got to get the reaction before we go
All
live.
right, I'm going to watch it right now.
Because we are using her end segment
Oh,
this week as well.
Kat's live reaction for
Be going dark because it's DC. Batman. Well, Batman has progressively
Oh,
gotten
that's what we
darker
got.
throughout the
Okay.
theaters.
Choke
So if
me,
you look at
choke me. Come
look
on.
at the animated series.
to me.
That-
The safe word is justice.
I forgot that. Choke me, Alfred. Choke me.
I'm fine.
Oh.
I didn't mean to make Batman into BDSM, but you know what? He did it to himself.
I did.
Big Brother's just like, I did.
Like, no, that's exactly the road I wanted to turn down.
Like, Matt, your shoulders are moving up and down, and that's the biggest indicator of how hardy your lap is, where Chris is just everywhere except straight in his chair.
I mean,
Yeah.
Chinese
Lost Chris
listening.
again.
Batman's
Oh,
into
boy.
S&M.
So,
Go with that, China.
Okay. Okay.
That
Oh,
was such a
boy.
good one. And then we talked about it at the end. I picked our portion of the second
The
time we
Dinkle
mentioned
Dashers.
the Dingle Dashers.
I still have to make that a TikTok, but I
That
will.
is- the Dingle Dashers bit is the promo because we were talking about the Red River and the chocolate brownie, and then you mentioned the craft brews, and I was like, this is fucking hilarious. This is the promo.
Hey, I'm making a little village apparently.
Yeah, and then we're gonna make it an NFT and sell it. And then at the end, we end off with the safe word is justice, and I say Katarina's been yelling justice several times this podcast. Justice,
I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to respond to that.
We've just missed you. Your boys are
You
still
feeling
your
better, though?
boys.
Guys. It comes and it goes.
Oh, that's the worst. The worst part I always find about the flu, because the doctor is like, nah, it's the flu. I was like, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I thought these symptoms seemed familiar. And it's the fucking fevers and then chills. Like, pick one or the fucking other, motherfucker. We don't need both. I don't need to go to like, oh, man, I'm hot now. I'm fucking cold. Fuck that shit, all right?
When you got
Now
some,
I'll feel great and like want to do stuff, and like I was feeling good. I was like, all right, let me fold some laundry, and then I'm like doubled over with like a vice on my lungs. It's just, it's wild. It's wild that you can do everything you're supposed to and still get knocked on your ass in a split second.
You could have like me. I have people going all around me all fucking day, like COVID. As soon as I even thought I was feeling off, I went and got I got like 4 tests. I used 2 of them at once, and I tested, both negative, and I was like, oh, now it's time to sleep. But it was that immediate thought of like afterward of like, damn man, like I've had like numerous people all around me getting COVID and all that.
Yeah. That's what they asked.
And I have been keeping my distance from people for a long time because I'm immunocompromised, and I know what it'll do to me if I get it.
That's practically my profession, is trying to stay away from people.
Right. And then I went to a wake on Tuesday night, and I woke up Wednesday morning with a headache. And that's not unusual in and of itself. But I went through I drove home because it was kind of far away. I drove home and I was feeling okay. But then by that night, I knew something was wrong. And I couldn't even tell you exactly what it was. It's just, it was a wrong feeling. So I went to see where I could get a test, and somebody must have canceled because there was one appointment left at a CVS not far from me for 10 a.m. It was the only appointment available all day. There was nothing before it. There was nothing after it. So somebody must have had that appointment and ended up canceling it, and I was able to do it. So I went down there. It was really quick. I left before I even got home. I got the text message saying that I was positive, but I knew that whatever this was, it was wrong. But by the time I got home and got upstairs into my room, like I had already been kind of self-quarantining.
Yeah.
I was knocked out for like 4 days. But even now, like I said, I'll start to feel good, and then all of a sudden I'll get really fatigued, or the headache will come back, or I'll start getting. It's weird. And like I said, I did everything I was supposed to. I wore a mask the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated. I actually was scheduled to get my booster shot on Monday.
Are you
This past
smoking
Monday.
copious amounts of marijuana? That could help.
That study.
You should also be
Supposedly-
smoking
supposedly there's a study
copious
that came out, man.
amounts.
Just start.
Let me tell
in
you,
massive
all of those
quantity.
years
I
of
think that would help.
abstaining from that, I'm kicking myself. It saved Kevin Smith's life.
It
Now
did.
it's helping
You
people
should
avoid.
totally.
That's why I don't
The
believe in the
Tokers had it
propaganda.
right this
It's
whole time.
causing you anxiety, isn't it? Or is your state one of those that sells it at 7-Eleven? I don't remember.
We are approved for recreational, but it hasn't rolled out yet. I think it just got approved last year or the year before.
Oh yeah,
So we're
man.
going to start seeing them pop.
Never
popping
too
up
late
soon.
never too late to
Quick
start
for
improving your life,
Politicians?
dude. There's and this is my point. There are
I just
those
am not a
people-
big I don't
Really?
like smoke,
There's
so I don't think I could ever
there's
smoke it.
a lot of
I'm a-
other options.
I
now.
will fuck
we
up
got
an edible
We
for
got
sure,
fucking
but-
technology. Edibles are amazing.
We have the technology.
Oh, we
Come
have the
on down,
technology
we'll
to help you.
introduce you.
There's actually with the Green
There's
Bean
stuff-
Cafe, they got weed coffee and shit, man.
I sense a podcast weekend with just edibles.
If you do,
No.
if they have edibles that
I'll
taste like
produce.
coffee
It'll
or
be-
chocolate, I
they
am
do.
1000% in for that shit.
Oh yeah, that's a
There's,
podcast right there. That's a
yeah.
future
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I will make that fucking trip up there. we will stop by every fucking store. We will make a great podcast. But
We'll make sure to bring the Funyuns too.
there we go. And the shawarma.
Ooh, cheddar fries. You know those Andy Cap cheddar fries?
Yeah.
So,
Should we grace her with some inside outs when we go up?
I mean,
What are
it's not going to be
inside
hot,
out?
man.
It won't.
Throw it in
it's
the
gotta
oven,
be-
man.
It's not going to be
not
the same. It's not
It's
going to be the
I
same.
know it's not the same, but
Then,
at least you get
then
something.
why even graze? Why even try
I'm
to
invited
do it?
to a wedding down in that area later this year.
Oh,
There we go.
In
that's
Delco?
nice.
Maybe I can convince them instead of a DJ have us do a podcast.
That would be great. You see
That
Big
would-
Brother
yeah.
just with his snarky like
I
you
would. Oh,
the
I'm
donuts.
not going cleaner. I'm telling you that. If anything, I'll be more filthy.
Yes.
as the night goes
They
on.
asked us to turn off Big Brother's mic. The children are getting corrupted.
They keep asking how much has he had to drink, and we keep saying nothing. He's had water. Just water. Yeah, sorry.
So
He's like this without inebriation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is us sober, guys.
So one thing we also want them to do is hit that subscribe button right there, like and comment below, and of course, right above our cardboard, Kelly is going to be every single Triforce. Oh, right above my head, actually, is going to be every single
would like
Triforce
to give
podcast in a playlist.
A special little shout out to Kelly Collins for checking in on me several times in the last week.
Oh, he checked
You,
in on me
sir,
too.
Are a gentleman.
He was absolutely amazing. And
He's
he
a
checked
good
in on
one.
me just to make sure I was okay. It was awesome. Kelly is the man. That's why we immortalize
Speaking
him.
of Kelly, his brother says Kelly's safe word is "I'm sorry." 2-minute warrior.
Well, not that, but you just cut down the kind of compliment I was going to say. But that's why we immortalize Kelly in cardboard. It's because he's so awesome.
I still watch that episode from time to time. It is classic.
It is. I want a
The
better
reveal.
one. I want one that's maybe
Especially when you
laminated
were
that won't
describing like
fuck
the
up.
drive from my old house to your house.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh, Kelly's response. This is one of those cursed things. I can't not see that now. If you'd like to be part of our family chat, please send an email to Perjangers.
Right over here.
PJandDWH.com.
Go ahead right over here. Contact the team at
for more
PJ and
cursed
DWH.
content.
Yeah. And well, now I guess I have to redo my tagline because right above my head is where you're going to hit that subscribe button and over to there we go. My right, you're going to find the very best Perjangers and Wallhangers video for you. Right above our cardboard, Kelly is going to be every single Triforce podcast in a playlist. And of course, like our main man Connor always says,
Buns.
bye-bye.
Buns.